Welcome back to another bbl.fits video. We got something a bit different for you lot today. Normally we're looking at the off-court style. Today we'll be looking at the on-court style. We're going to do a nice little review of every BBL jersey this season. So before we get started, I'm just going to say no hate to anyone who designed the kits or the logos or anything like that. I do mention that there are teams who need a rebrand, in my opinion. This isn't because they're badly branded. This is because when they were branded originally, it was a long time ago. Things have moved on, styles moved on, but also I understand that that's not feasible for every single team. Also, another thing, this is just my opinions. You might not agree. If I say something about your favorite team's kit, no, I don't like it, don't send me any hate. It's not worth it. So honestly, let's get started with what makes a good jersey. A classic home jersey is something that is easily identifiable as the team and has maybe got a couple of improvements, changes from last year's to keep it fresh, but doesn't deviate from your classic team too much. For an away jersey, there's kind of two schools of thoughts. Either teams do the inverse of the first jersey, but also a lot of teams use it as a chance to explore different things, to kind of create, to do stuff they wouldn't be able to do on the home kits. So yeah, to me, a good away jersey is kind of pushing the boat out, going for something a bit crazy. And let's talk about throwback kits. The throwback stuff is an incredible idea. I was always a massive fan. When I was watching the NBA as a kid, they always had the like special edition jerseys. And I thought that was so cool, man. I'd love to see that kind of thing brought into the BBL. So I'd love to see like a kind of purple and gold lines throwback retro kit, maybe Plymouth in green or something. So let's get into it. These are in no particular order at all. It's kind of what order I remembered all the teams. So obviously up first we got the London Lions. That's my team. And this home is ice cold. It's simple. It's clean. I like the LDN branding that kind of adds into that international European London Lions thing. I rate that. The black and white is decent. It's easy. It's clean. You can't mess that up. And then they got the red and blue on there. I mean, personally, from a kind of historic Lions fan, I prefer that if that was the purple and gold. But if that's the kind of way that the team's going, fair enough. Where it could be improved, I think this is the same for all of the London Lions stuff, man. Slap a lion on it. That's why these men are out here losing games. They're confused. They're the London Lions. They got no lines anywhere. The away, like I kind of mentioned earlier in my introduction, it's just the reverse of the home. It's not quite as good colours for me with the all white, but it's clean, it's tidy, you know. The third is just the red version. I mean, what more can we say? Like a third kit is purely for clash. Like no one's going out there wishing they could buy that red third kit. Next we got the Leicester Riders. This Riders home jersey is fine. It's pretty standard. It's nothing special. Obviously they've kept it simple with the red. I do like the font across the chest, and I like the way that's mirrored in the away jersey, as I'll talk about in a little bit. But honestly, I think Riders jerseys last year were a whole lot better than this. I really rated the pinstripes. It kind of gave it a little bit more going on, but kept it classy. So yeah, overall, it's just a bit meh. Like it's fine, but it's nothing. It looks a bit like a training kit to me. For the away jersey, I like how the script matches the home jersey, but also they've gone for the other words. So we see this a lot in NBA jerseys, where the home will say, for example, Phoenix, and then the away will say Suns. It keeps the jerseys individual, but also so they kind of tie in together. The kind of digital camo is a bit nothing, in my opinion. I think Leicester have always struggled for away jerseys. They've created some sick special edition jerseys like the Diwali jersey, the Neon Knights jersey from a few years ago. This one's kind of lacking. Speaking of special edition jerseys, first throwback jersey we're going to talk about is the Leicester Riders. And honestly, this is kind of ugly, man. I think Manchester, I don't know if they announced it first, but I definitely saw theirs first. There was no coming back from Leicester. So up next, we've got the Manchester Giants. Honestly, I love the way both of these jerseys match. And these ones are so clean. Obviously, there's a massive difference between having loads of sponsors like Cheshire Phoenix and having no sponsors like your Londons, like your Giants. Obviously, again, I understand that that can't be helped sometimes. It's a given that the kits with less going on, with less sponsors and words and stuff like that, are going to be better. But the home jersey, I do think that the green seems off compared to the rest of the branding. I don't know if maybe this is just me, maybe it's just pictures I'm seeing. And the away jersey, again, the green seems a bit off. Maybe I'm making this up, man. Maybe it's because I'm used to seeing the throwback green now. But yeah, I rate the jersey designs, but I think the kind of colors could just be a little bit more complementary. Now the throwback Giants jersey, as I mentioned when I talked about the Riders jersey, this Giants throwback jersey is god tier, man. The pinstripes, the font, all of it, the layout, man, it's just so clean. It's so fresh. it's what a jersey should be, really. Now, the Glasgow Rocks, this home jersey is an unexpected top tier jersey from me. I rate it. I rate it, you know. I love the big logo sweeping across the bottom there. I'd love to see more teams implement their logo onto the kits. I feel like there's a bit of a disparity between the team logos and the team kits for some of them. But I really love the way that they've got this kind of flaming rock going on. The colors are well balanced with the blue and the orange. And the font that they got across there, again, fits so well with the Rocks branding. And this, in the design, I could see an NBA team wearing. But the away jersey is boring, man. I didn't even notice that flaming grey rock across the bottom when I started making this video. It was only literally just now when I was kind of flicking through them, familiarized myself before filming, that I realized it's just a bit nothing. I see what they kind of tried to do with the font, but it's just a bit nothing for me. It doesn't really fit with the rest of the team's branding. And obviously they've committed the cardinal sin of sleeves, as sleeves should never be on a basketball jersey. Up next, we got the Surrey Scorchers. This home kit is kind of clean, man. The sleeves absolutely ruin it for me, though. The away is far too similar to the home, in my opinion. And for a team that hasn't got a third kit, that's kind of bold. But again, what more can I say other than get rid of the sleeves, you know? And then we'll talk. The Bristol Flyers, man. This is a weird one. This is a weird one. They've got a real top level jersey and a real bottom level jersey. And I gotta say, this home jersey, man, is forgettable. Every season, the Flyers release some white, red, and blue variation of last year's kit, and I forget it the second I'm not looking at it. Like, even trying to picture it now, it screams like, oh, we're basketball. Basketball's American. Let's put an American flag on our kit. That's what I'm getting. But this away kit, man, it's top tier. It's up there for the best kits in the BBL. I really, really rate this. I was born in Bristol, so to see the Bristol landmarks reflected on this jersey, it's a really sick kind of callback to the city. And I really like the way that Bristol Flyers have taken this and kind of implemented themselves in Bristol history by making this jersey. And the colors on this one, the palette is so nice. It's a refreshing, it's different, it's unlike anything else you've ever seen in the league, with the red and the orange and the yellow. So yeah, I really, really rate this jersey. Cheshire Phoenix. This home, man, it's just not it. There's too much going on. They've got so many logos. I get it, like they've got to, but the logos are so obtuse, man. They've got that square one, which, like, how you can't implement that nicely into a kit design. So I think it's an L from day one for them, unfortunately. The colors don't scream Cheshire Phoenix to me. When the fans turned up at the BBL Trophy final in their neon green t-shirts, it's like, why are you wearing neon green? Your logo is yellow and blue, and then you're playing in a yellow, blue, and green kit that aren't any of those colors. It's just, they need a rebrand. And this is what I said in the intro. Like, their stuff looks dated to me, and obviously that's because it was made a long time ago. The away jersey is somehow worse. I don't really want to talk about it. So let's move on to a good kit. Newcastle Eagles, man. It pains me to say this, but this is an absolute classic. I like the way that it matches Newcastle United Football Club. I'm guessing that must be intentional. Feels very Newcastle. It feels very iconic. They're an iconic team in terms of their history, and this jersey kind of befits that with the black and the white and the gold bits, the pinstripes. Again, I love a pinstripe on a jersey, apparently. And honestly, if they did a throwback fit, it would probably just be this jersey, man, because it's classic. The away, it's the reverse of the home. It's kind of like what I was saying with the London one. Like, it's nice, black and white's pretty simple, but it's just a bit boring, and there could be a bit more going on. Maybe an all gold kit like that gold Dallas Mavericks kit. Yeah, definitely not. So we're moving down south to the Plymouth City Patriots, and honestly, this home jersey is a 10 out of 10. This is another top tier. I really rate the kind of repeating logo, low-key pattern that they've got all over it. It takes what would be a kind of dull jersey in the black and green, just kind of gives it a little bit of depth, a little bit of something to it. There's always going to be tough rebranding for Plymouth. They were such an iconic team with the Raiders, such an iconic logo and look. But I think they've done a great job with this rebrand. The away is the inverse of the home. It's got kind of stuff going on, so I don't feel like it's too boring, but they could have done something more with it. And the third is the same in blue. Again, they did one thing well and they stuck to it, you know. Can't be mad at that. Sheffield Sharks, this home is nothing, man. I don't hate it. I don't rate it. It's a fade from blue to grey. Like, it's bland. Again, this is kind of one where, on a par with the Cheshire Phoenix, it's just, they could update it, and with the Sharks name, man, they could do some sick stuff with that. I just feel it's a bit it's a bit nothing at the moment. Moving on to the away, man, the yellow, it's a weird shade. It's probably quite a nice shade in smaller doses, but for it to be all yellow, it's very intense. So there we are. There is every single jersey in this year's BBL reviewed. A couple of teams maybe that could do with a little bit of work. A couple of teams that are absolutely getting it right. So what would I like to see next season's kits? I'd like to see more throwback kits. That is for absolute certain. I'd love to see a week where they just do all throwback games or something. For the teams with maybe a bit less history and newer teams, it'll be interesting to see how they kind of incorporate their shorter history into the kits, how those kits compare to the teams that have looked so different over the years, like the London Lions, for example, with their purple and yellow kits. And I really think that it helps to get the fans into it as well, man. The buzz around the Leicester Giants game was huge. The fans absolutely loved it. We had the fans in the throwback kits as well. I'd like to see maybe some teams kind of update their logos, update their kits to bring them into the 2020s. So what I'll do now is I'll put all of the kits into a tier list, flash that up here. I'll leave the description in the link below. So if you want, you can go on that tier list, rank them yourself. Let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, give it a share, and we'll see you next time on bbl.fits. Thank you.